Calgary Police Service Professional Standards Section investigation has resulted in 11 criminal code charges against a former Calgary police officer. On Monday, January 18th, 2016, a man and a woman contacted the Calgary Police Service to make a complaint against an officer alleging harassment. The subsequent investigation revealed the following. On Thursday, July 9th, 2015, the woman was in a parking lot in Northwest Calgary when she was stopped by an officer for a routine traffic offense. She was issued traffic violations and her vehicle was towed. The officer in question offered to drive the woman home. The woman alleges the drive home to the northeast quadrant of the city took about 3.5 hours, and during that time she was unlawfully confined in the back of a locked, marked police vehicle. On Friday, January 15th, 2016, the woman was with her boyfriend. When they were returning to their home, they found a police car, approaching them. It is alleged the same police officer from July 2015 traffic stop exited his police car and made his way towards the couple's vehicle. The woman exited the vehicle and went inside her house, and once at the vehicle, the officer directed the man to remain in the car. The officer then entered the house without permission or legal authorization to do so. Additionally, between July 2015 and 2016 January, the investigation revealed the officer was accessing CPS computer databases to obtain information about the two complainants. Dennis McHugh, 35, is charged with 1 count each of kidnapping, obstruction of justice, break and enter, breach of the peace, 2 counts of fraudulently obtaining a computer service, 5 counts of breach of trust. McHugh had 8 years of service with the Calgary Police Service. His next court appearance is scheduled for Tuesday, November 29th, 2016. Anyone who may have information relative to this investigation is asked to contact Calgary Police Service Professional Standards Section at 403-428-5904. I'll now take any of your questions.
I understand that there is a sexual element to this. Can you get into any details about what's alleged to have happened between these two?
Other than what I've described to you, the evidence was brought to the Crown for review. They thoroughly reviewed that and laid the appropriate charges. And there was no allegation of sexual misconduct.
Can you say if there was sexual contact between the two at all?
There's no evidence to suggest that.
When did he resign?
Early November.
So after the charges were laid, or after the investigation started?
After the investigation started, prior to today's date.
Is there any suggestion that this might have been a case of stalking or anything like that?
There's no suggestion that it's a case of stalking. Again, there's a fairly comprehensive list of charges before you that I think outline very clearly what the facts in this matter are.
3.5 hours is a long time to be in the back of a police cruiser driving around. Can you say what was going on at that time?
Those are matters that are going to be presented at the court and part of the trial.
Has he been cooperative with the investigation?
At the end of the day, he's going to answer these matters in court. I'm not going to put him in uncooperative or cooperative at this point.
He's alleged to have committed these crimes while in uniform. Is there an added element of concern when you have those types of allegations against a police officer who is on the job at the time?
Absolutely. These are serious criminal charges, full stop. That a member in uniform is accused of these crimes is deeply concerning. 99.99% of our police officers go out every day to earn the public's trust, and they work very, very hard to make sure that Calgary's a safe place, and they maintain that. Anytime that this type of behavior surfaces, it's a betrayal to all police officers and to the public.
What was the relationship between him and her and for this incident? Or
Sorry, could you repeat your question?
what was the nature of the relationship between the female complainant and the officer before this incident?
I'm not aware of any relationship.
And the release talks about looking for information. What sort of information, or who might have information that you're looking for?
We don't have any specifics on that. If we did, we would actually actively be looking at that. We're concerned for all victims of crime, and if anyone has information that they feel that they've been victimized from a crime, we encourage them to contact the Calgary Police Service.
Is it common for a police officer to offer a ride home to somebody in that kind of situation?
It would be a common occurrence. You have to take into consideration a number of factors. It's going to be discretion by the police officer. Time of night, location, is it an isolated area? Is the person going to be at greater risk? Weather conditions, if it's -20 versus a nice warm day. All of those will be things that an officer would take into consideration.
And what were the traffic violations she was issued tickets for?
My understanding is it was no insurance and a no license.
Was the information about her accessed prior to her being pulled over, or was that after she was pulled over by the officer?
My understanding is it's subsequent.
Is there any indication that the officer knew the complainant before the initial traffic stop?
At this time, there's no evidence to indicate that.
Is this a concern from a morale point of view for your officers?
From a morale point of view, there's going to always be two sides of this. I described the great work that our officers are doing every day, and when you have bad news, that's difficult. But from an accountability and professional standpoint, those 99.99% of officers out there hold that to the highest level, and they don't want someone who is behaving this way in their midst either. And so, on one hand, ensuring that we demonstrate accountability and transparency. Officers understand that that's a difficult thing to do, but they do it with pride.
Does it give a black eye to the service, though? I mean, when you talk about public confidence and, so uniform.
Absolutely. There's nothing positive to say about this, other than that this individual will be answering these charges in a court of law where it's appropriate.
Does the break and enter charge, does that speak just to the fact that it's a police officer in a home without a warrant, or is there more sort of aggression alleged in this?
Again, those are going to be facts that are entered at trial and rightfully disclosed there and not in this venue. But safe to say there has to be a lawfulness to be in a home, and the intent is also something that's considered in laying that charge.
Did your investigators find out why why the complaint was made not after the first incident, but after it happened allegedly a second time?
There is no indication as to why that decision was made by the complainant. Suffice it to say, it was January of this year that we learned of these allegations. It's important to note that it came in as a complaint of harassment, not the criminal charges that are laid before you, and it was our subsequent investigation that determined the severity and seriousness of this incident.
The officer, when he resigned, the constable?
That's correct.
Just more on that point, does it bother you that there was no complaint made after the first incident?
Well, unreported crime bothers me, and it goes right across the spectrum. And we encourage people that if they are a victim of crime, to come forward. But those are always going to be personal choices.